So in components, let's create a new file. Let's call this header.jsx. And I'm going to open it up by typing header equals React create class. Open that up as usual. And in the render function here, I'm just going to return a bit of bootstrap. So div class, actually I'm just going to wrap that in a div first. So in this render function, you can't just type div class equals, whatever, because class is used in JavaScript. So we actually need to type class name, and then we can give it a class. So I'm just going to call it navbar default, and close that. And I'm just going to div class name equals container. Put a bootstrap container in there. And then div class name equals navbar brand. Actually, this should be an A element. And it's just going to say my site name. Like that. So if we save that, the header is now created. So I'm now going to create the footer. And the same thing would go for the footer, but I'm not going to put anything in here. I'm just going to have it return a div. So footer equals react.create class. We're going to open that up. We're going to open the render function and return div. Like that. So now we need to create the home component. And the reason why is we've referenced home, header, and footer. We've got footer and header created. We still need this component, which we're passing in as home. So we need to create the home component. So I'm going to create a new directory here to keep things organized, and I'm going to call it home. And in that directory, I'm going to create a file called home.jsx. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to name the component home, react.create class. And right now I'm just going to render a return div, actually h1. And it's going to say hello world and hit save. So if I come back here and refresh this page, we're going to start to see it take shape because we've created all the components that we're referencing. And so the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is that let me open this up. So in the, the main layout, I console log this.props.log this, which I passed into this class as a property. So that's basically what's happening. We're passing in components to the main layout components. So I would reference header, content, and footer in the very same way. Except what we could do is if you want to render the content of a property, you put it in single curly brackets. So it's like Blaze, except you're not using two curly brackets, you're just using one, and you just type it. So let's type this.props.header, this.props.home, or content rather. We're referencing that here. We're setting it, the property as content, so we're going to reference it like that. And then the footer as well. So this.props.footer. We're going to save this, and this is our main layout. So the header, if I, for instance, made a route called flow router.route / page, then opened up curly brackets here. Let's name it page, and the action is going to be render view. And let's say I had a component named this page. I would do that, and it would render that component into the main layout with the header, that component, and then the footer, and we're also passing this just as a proof of concept. But I'm not going to do that. So now we've got this. But Bootstrap does not appear to be working, and I think maybe I've forgotten to add Bootstrap here. I don't think it got added. Maybe in the last video, I know I added it. Maybe I canceled out of it for some reason. So let's go ahead and get that added. So Control C here, Meteor add TWBS : Bootstrap, and hit enter. All right. So now I'm going to run Meteor again. And the page refreshes automatically because it's Meteor.